Yes, so now we learn in Vedic mathematics what the percentage method to actually calculate the multiplications. I'll just give you one example. To begin with, let's say you have to multiply 105 with 32. So how would you normally do? You would actually multiply the usual way. You will actually say, let's multiply 2 by 105, which gives you 210, and then you put a cross here, and then you would say, okay, let's multiply 3 0 15 313, and then you will total it up, and then you will say, okay, it is 3360. So that is a normal way to do it. But if you look at it, it's very simple actually, because in the end, this 105, you could also say that 105 is nothing but 105% multiplied by 100, right? And so you could also say that you have to multiply 105% by 100 by 32. Yeah. And so what does it really mean? It means that we can actually use a percentage way to calculate it. So we would say, what is 5% of 32? Can you do that calculation really quick? Yes, because first thing you will do is understand, okay, and this is all going in your head. You would say, okay, what is 10% of 32, which is 3.2, and then what is half of it? Then that means that you will be able to calculate what? You will be able to calculate 32 multiplied by 5%, right? And in the end, what all you need is basically 32 multiplied by 105%. So it might become a bit more complex. Let me put the things together now for you. So you would say 105% is equals to 100% plus 5%. Yeah. And then you would just multiply 32 by 5%, which you have already calculated here, which is nothing but, oops, let's go back and see where did we multiply 32 by 5%. So in your mind you would just say, okay, 32 multiplied by 10% is 3.2. Half of that is 1.6, meaning 5% of 32 is 1.6. So you would say 105% of 32 is nothing but 32 plus 1.6. So 1.6 is what? So this is right. So this becomes 33.6, yeah, and then you just multiply it by 100. So if let's go up one more. Yeah. So basically you multiply these two first, and then in the end you multiply it by 100. And when you are multiplying these two, then you are actually breaking this 105 into two pieces, which is 100 plus 5%. And 100% is easy, it's just 32, and 5% is basically half of the 10%. So half of 10% is what? So it's 3.2 divided by 2, it's 1.6. 32 plus 1.6 is 33.6 or 3360. So simply you could say that, just without doing the calculation, that you could say it's basically 32 plus 1.6. Right? So 33.6. exactly which we had. Now it might be a bit complicated for somebody who's doing it first time. Try some other eggs and it'll start to get better and better. In the first few rounds it will be very difficult for you to understand it, but I think it starts to improve. So let's multiply 105 by 44. Percentage method. You look at 105 and you say, okay, it's 5% on top. So in your mind what you'll do is you will break this into 100 plus 5, and basically then you would say, okay, 100% of 44 is 44, and then you would just add on top 5%, which is basically 2.2. so your result will become 46.2 multiplied by 100, which is 46.20. So it's actually quite easy to calculate using percentages, and I'll give you some more examples. I mean, there's another way actually you could calculate the whole thing, which is by breaking the 44 into two groups and then just doing the summation there. So you could say, let's break down 44. 44 is 40 plus 10%. Plus 10% of 40, right? So this is how it is. So in the end what you'll do is you'll just multiply 105 by 40, and then on top you add 10%. So you basically you get 420. If you multiply 40 by 105, then you get this, and then on top you add 10%. On top you have to add 10%, which will be what, 420. So basically it becomes 4620. So it's basically, the thing is that you have two options actually with this percentage method to calculate this whole thing, which is either you break the first number into a percentage, which is 100 plus 5, and then multiply 44, or you could actually break this one down, which is 44. So you have this as the first option, and you have this 44 as the second option, where you could say, okay, now I break 44 and then multiply. So you can break either of these two to get the calculation. And we'll do some more examples in the videos which will come later, but this is the percentage method of calculation, or percentage method of multiplication.